Hey there. Hello, how do you do? My name is Harry Wetzel. Thanks for coming. It's the 80s, darling. Yes, it is. It's 1984. It's the heart of 1984. It's the middle of the year, middle of the summer. I've been away from Vino Veritas, from the booze store, for a couple of months now. I've been at the Winter Garden Theater selling cats, full color show programs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, records, cassettes, books, and buttons for a couple of months now. A grueling 6-day a week, 8-show a week schedule. You're there 6 nights a week, and you're there all day and all night Wednesday and all day and all night Saturday. Your only day off is Sunday. So, one Sunday afternoon in the middle of summer, it was a hot sunny day. Rodent, you remember Rodent, was appearing in a Actors Equity Showcase down at Lincoln Center. And an Actors Equity Showcase is a production that only goes on for a couple of days or a short period of time, and it's usually just for the industry to see new actors or a new playwright, and so that producers or directors or casting agents can come see the Equity Showcase, or friends and family, of course. It is a show. Very bare bones production usually, just to get the idea of what's going on with the talent there on all fronts. Right. So I had heard that Rodent was appearing in something, I don't know what, down there at Lincoln Center at 2 o'clock this particular Sunday. Now, I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought, I guess, that if I just went down and talked to him when I was sober, then maybe we could accomplish something. Maybe we could get him to cough up the money that he owes Keat. Because. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to talk to him when I was sober, because the last time I talked to him, I was drunk, pretty much blotto drunk. And I screamed at him and stormed out of the White Horse Tavern and went and passed out on the subway all night long on Dylan Thomas's all night long subway ride. Right. That was the last time I had even seen Rodent. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have a clever speech planned or anything, other than just to perhaps catch him by surprise and see if we could work something out. I don't know. So I went down there. I went down to Lincoln Center around 4 o'clock, a little bit before 4. And I'm pacing around the compound. I am. I'm pacing around. I'm nervous, I got to admit. It's like seeing an old ex, that it didn't end nicely. Right. So I'm chain smoking and walking around. It feels like film noir. Even though it's a bright, sunny day, it feels very dark. So I'm chain smoking and hanging around, being nervous, being anxious. Then I see him. He comes out. He comes out of the back and he starts cutting through the parking garage. And he sees me. And he slows his pace. Then he puts on his mantle of attitude and a sort of annoyed face, which annoyed me immediately. And he starts coming right toward me. Comes right on up to me. And he says, "What?" And I am immediately irritated at this. And I said, "I can't believe it." He said, "What?" I said, "That they even let you walk around, you." And he said, "What do you want?" I said, you owe Keith all that money." He said, "So?" I said, so you owe him all that money." He says, "I don't have it." I said, "Well, neither does Keith. And he says, well, neither do I. What do you want me to do about it? I said, you've got to do something. He says, what do I do? I say, roar, roar, roar. And he says, roar, 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 roar. We just wind up barking at each other. I don't even know what we were saying. We're just yelling at each other. Rawr, rawr. None of it made any particular sense. I just kept on trying to reiterate about Keith, about Keith. Now remember, he didn't owe me any money. He just owed it to Keith. I sent home checks when I was in Terre Haute, Indiana, but Keith gave him cash, and that's where that went. So we're just yelling at each other, and it come to this, we're just barking at each other. I hate confrontation. And this was a major confrontation. Getting into a screaming match with someone, in sort of public. We're in a parking garage, but it's sort of public. We're just yelling at each other, and I could feel my gorge rising. You know what I mean? And he said something about, what do you want me to do about it? And I just knew at that point that I had to cause pain to him. Now, here's the thing. I'm a pacifist. I'm a coward. I was beaten by my despicable elder male sibling for my entire childhood. I had bruises for the first 16 years of my life. He gave me a black eye when I was 7 months old in the crib. So I've been abused and punched and pretty much dead set against violence for my whole life. So when it came to this, that I felt like I had to do something to cause pain, it was a very uneasy feeling in me. And you know what I did? I took a swing at him. I did. I took a swing at him. Now, I am not an experienced street fighter. I am not an experienced fighter. I am not a fighter. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. And a coward. A natural-born coward. So I took a swing at him, and he saw it coming a million miles away, and he very easily just dodged out of the way. And that just enraged me even more. I can't even throw a punch. The first time I tried to throw a punch in my life, I can't even throw a punch. And I was just trembling with rage. And I looked up at him, and he saw the venom in my glance, and he just said, I'm out of here. And he just took off, running through the parking lot, running through the parking garage. Well, I'm a pretty good sprinter, so I caught up with him pretty quickly, and I jumped on his back like piggyback. I started whacking him in the head, paff, paff, and I got a big wind up. I'm going to give him a really good ear box, and as if it was choreographed, as if we had rehearsed it and planned it. At that moment, I'm coming down for the swing in, about to bash his head in. A huge man, a giant man, the Lincoln Center security guard or bouncer, grabs me by the scruff of the neck and lifts me off of Roden's back like I'm an angry loaf of bread, and he deposits me over here a couple of feet, and he puts me on my feet. And he says, you take that the hell out of here and get out of here. So I'm like, I'm sputtering. I said, he owes me a great deal of money. He said, and a lie, actually, because he owes Keith a great deal of money. But I thought it sounded so much better than he owes our ex-roommate a great deal of money. So I say, he owes me a great deal of money. And he says, I don't care about that. You just take it on the hell on out of here and get out. And so he's a huge man, and I'm trembling with rage, and now not just rage, but adrenaline and self-disgust because I incited violence. Oh, my word. So I say, okay. And I start to walk out, and Roden puts his head down. He says, we're going. And we walk out like a couple of naughty school kids under punishment. Then we walk out of the parking garage, and I'm still just trembling with self-loathing and disgust. And so I get out a cigarette and I light up a cigarette. And we walk out into the bright sunny day from the parking garage, and it takes me a moment to just gather myself as I smoke on the cigarette. And he's, well, and I say, you, and he said, well, what? I said, you old Keat, you old Keat. Oh, he said, what, are you just going to ramble? And that was it for me. I knew that I was done, that he was not to be reasoned with, nor was I. But I didn't want to continue this conversation, if it was a conversation, this screaming match, what it was going to turn into. I knew I wasn't going to hit him or kick him or try and do anything else. So I just said, I got nothing to say to you. And I realized I had my cigarette. So I had my cigarette and I flicked it at his face, point blank. I said, I got nothing to say to you. And it collided with his cheek with a shower of fireworks and sparks. Lovely effect. And he scrambled to dislodge the burning ember from his cheek. And I just turned and walked up the avenue, trembling with rage and self-loathing. This was a low point in my life. I'm exhausted, and I incited violence. I went to punch him, I hit him in the head, and I threw a lit cigarette point blank in his face. This is the worst thing I've ever done in New York. One of the worst things I've ever done. I've never been in a fight. So I just walk home trembling, just choking back bitter tears. Just miserable. This turned into a huge bout of depression. It lasted for weeks. It just did not go away. And it was just, I had so much self-hate, and I felt, you are a failure as a human being. It's come to this. You throwing a punch at your old friend, and you're a complete loser and failure as a human being. That's what I felt like. And that's where I stood. And that's where it landed. And that's where it stayed for some time. Anyhow, about a week later, I'm out with Carp. You remember Carp? And we're getting drunk. And he says, oh, by the way, I saw a rodent the other day. He's got a huge welt on his cheek. It looks horrible. And he started to laugh. I did not laugh. I did like hearing that, though. I was glad to hear it. I mean, I couldn't help it. There's a German word for what I was feeling. Yeah. Anyhow, like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you for coming along on this voyage with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Yeah.